Former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort pleaded not guilty today to a new round of charges in special counsel Mueller's never-ending probe. A trial date has been set for September 17th. Of course, Mueller's case against Manafort alleges no wrongdoing by President Trump or any collusion between his campaign and his administration and the Kremlin. Joining us tonight is Chris Farrell, Director of Investigations and Research for Judicial Watch. Chris, great to see you. And let's start with, first, the appointment by President Obama of Jeff Sessions. I think it obviously it frustrates him greatly, his performance. But that tweet today in which he went after his Attorney General for using an Inspector General to probe what seemed to me at least to be obvious abuses of the FISA courts by the Obama FBI and DOJ, has him seeing red. Who's right here?
The president is. Look, these are grave national security crimes with respect to FISA, but also constitutional rights that are violated by folks who are targeted under this phonied-up attempt to use the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act to go after Trump campaign, transition, and administration people. And so this is serious stuff. And frankly, most inspectors general really are the Department of Cover-Ups for whatever agency that they work for. That's a sad statement, but it's also a factually correct statement. And in that regard,
it fits the swamp, doesn't it?
The IG office is the place where bad news goes to die. That's how it works. It's unfortunate but true. And look, Mr. Horowitz has been in front of the Judiciary Committee in the Senate, Senator Grassley, and Senator Grassley held a set of hearings called All Means All, which is a very peculiar title. But what was happening was the Department of Justice Inspector General was complaining that when the FBI was being responsive to or was being investigated by the DOJ IG, they refused to turn over records and documents. They would not answer.
So why do they get away with this, Chris? I mean, think about it. When you go through all of the committee investigations, the Justice Department has told Congress in its appropriate oversight role, in each instance, go to hell, in effect.
Yep, exactly.
And we're watching the same process now. Michael Horowitz, the Inspector General of Justice. I mean, we were supposed to have his report 2 months ago. And then it was March. Now we approach March, and who knows what's going to happen. Why does the Department of Justice get an easy pass to obfuscation and delay and then utterly ignore oversight by Congress?
And there's two parts to this. Horowitz is already under oath on the record to Senator Grassley saying that the FBI basically tells him drop dead. So he's already admitted that he cannot actually fulfill or act on his job. Part two is within the Inspector General's office, there are operatives who are really first-class cover-up artists. I know this firsthand from my work covering corruption in the FBI in El Paso. An assistant inspector general deliberately sat on and suppressed an investigation. I'm not guessing at this. I have firsthand experience dealing with these people. And I'm telling you, anybody who's expecting the inspector general to come out with some, devastating report, they're delusional. It's not going to happen.
Not going to happen. And one gets the feeling that so much is not going to happen under Attorney General Sessions. What is the president to do here? He has a recalcitrant, to be kind, Attorney General who is refusing to invest his integrity and honor, as he called it today, in the performance of his duties. He's talking about it's almost a statist kind of view of his job, which is to preside. He is supposed to be leading the Department of Justice.
Well, going to the other extreme, you've got the Eric Holder school of being the Attorney General, where you basically cover up the criminality of the president, particularly in regard to Fast and Furious, where President Obama invoked executive privilege. But, with respect to Mr. Sessions, when the president is tweeting the way that he is, one would think you'd get the message.
Yeah, well, he obviously has not. And more disturbing. He sounds like a man who is probably not likely to get many messages from many quarters other than those who are in his immediate proximity, and that is a very dangerous prospect to contemplate. Chris Farrell, as always, thank you so much.
Thanks, Lou.